My name's Trey, and today I'm going to show you the 2020 G550. The G Wagen is really the icon of Mercedes-Benz. A lot of people say the S-Class is the flagship, but when people talk about Mercedes-Benz, this is typically always the first image that pops into their mind is of the G Wagen. I really think that this is the starkest contrast between sport and luxury, in that both are still in this vehicle. You get an aggressive, sporty look on the inside, and with the redesign now, you get so many more luxury components that are in our other vehicles, including the S-Class. Just starting with the front of the vehicle on the G550, this is the polar white exterior with the night package on the car. The night package is going to have black elements to the vehicle on the front brush bar, the wheels themselves, the mirror housing, and the window trim as well. Underneath the hood, we've got this beautiful 4-liter V8 bi-turbo engine, 416 horsepower, 450 pound-feet of torque. Of course, it gives a lot of power to the G550. You get the 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds, which for a car that's not incredibly aerodynamic is incredibly impressive. When they redesigned the vehicle in 2019, they swapped the 7-speed transmission out for their 9G-tronic transmission that they use now. It's a transmission Mercedes has been making now for roughly 10 years, and basically what that gives is a little bit more of an imperceptible gear shift. You're basically going to have just a little bit quieter car at higher speeds with that 9-speed transmission too. It does give it a little bit better fuel mileage, but you're not getting a G550 for the fuel economy, that's for sure. That is for sure. When they were redesigning the G Wagen in 2019, they had a lot of surveys, they did a lot of studies, they talked to a lot of people, and they basically said, hey, what are some things that you would like to keep the same on the G550? And everybody was universal in saying that you definitely have to keep 2 things the same on the door. You have to keep that almost rifle loading sound of how it locks and unlocks, so that sound has to stay the same. And then the latches, you have to have that big, thick, burly latch on the vehicle so it feels like that classic car when you lock it and unlock it. So just this sound of opening and closing a vehicle like that, you don't really get on any current luxury sport vehicle at all whatsoever. I mean, I'll do it again, man. It feels good, you know? A lot of people wouldn't take a luxury car off-roading, but on the G Wagen, you could take it and submerge it in 27 inches of water. You know, down here in Louisiana, have people taking it through a crawfish pond or two. I've actually met some people that have done it, you know. Even though most people that would buy this car would never consider taking it off-road, it still competes with all of those, you know, those off-road cars. You know, you can beat it up like you would your Jeep on the weekend and stuff like that. All the painting on the outside, don't worry about that. They use special paint on these cars. And it's called a G manufacturer scratch-resistant paint. Now with the redesign from 2019, the interiors on the G550s are also much, much more luxurious. We've got on this particular G Wagen a comfort seat package that gives it Designo leather upgraded upholstery. So Designo's, it's the highest end of a Napa leather that you can get on a car. A lot of manufacturers will have like the Napa leather, but the Designo Napa leather with Mercedes, it's a little bit different in that it's all hand stitched, and I actually found out that to be able to do Designo upholstery, you actually have to apprentice for 3 years just to earn the right to be able to hand stitch upholsteries in a car, which is pretty impressive to me, just to give you the kind of thought and care and real luxury that goes into just the seats alone. And they've also added different trims now too. So on the interior right here, this is a metal weave trim on the inside, which is very similar to carbon fiber without having to spend carbon fiber money. They're mimicking basically the S-Class when it comes to the interior design, in that you've got a touchpad right here that you can swipe on to select everything in your menus, the wheel that you can twist and rotate as well, and you also have parking sensors that you can activate right here for parking cameras, so the vehicle will self-park itself for you, parallel and perpendicularly. It's a huge difference. Back in the day, like the older G Wagons and stuff like that, it didn't feel like this on the inside. It looked like a Jeep on the inside almost, you know, with just how rugged it was, because back then it was more of a utility vehicle, and now that I guess that enough, you know, the Kardashians have driven them enough, they want to keep it a little bit more luxurious on the inside and everything. This right here is really where you really get the S-Class vibe. The dual 12.3-inch screens have been a staple on the S550 for over 5 years now, and they brought that now to the G550s, where it's incredibly customizable. I can change it to a sportier look if I want to, just to kind of give me a little bit more of an aggressive vibe, or I can switch to a progressive mode, which is really neat to me, man. And it kind of reminds me of almost like a race car, you know, whenever I look at a map out like this, and really just kind of use any kind of metric that I want to measure out and look at what I want to look at, you know. So if I want to put, you know, just for instance, you know, what my reset ranges are on this side, how my eco displays are looking right now. You can also really get a good look at the ambient lighting that's right here too. So this is a blue, but there's 64 different colors that you can choose from now in the vehicle. So I can switch from a blue to really any color that I want. Of course, at night, this is gonna look so much brighter and so much more vibrant, right? Of course, for the LSU games, I can have my purple ready to go as well. In addition to a lot of the safety features, they changed a lot on the steering wheel in the vehicle, where now your cruise control is visible on this side. So standard on all the G Wagons is our Distronic Assist, which is Mercedes' own, basically distance keeping between vehicles when you're driving. At the end of the day, there's still no comparison. There's nothing quite like a G Wagon. There is no true. Everybody always says, well, what's the most similar thing that I can get to a G Wagon? I'm like, there's no vehicle that I can tell you in the luxury market that is going to compete with this. There actually is no competition. There's the G Wagon, and then there's, okay, well, what's like a G Wagon? And then we go from there.